Alright, so listen. I want y'all to listen, right? So, I made a Why the Rumbling Was Good video like a week or two ago. So, someone then commented under it, just basically trying to talk shit about the video when they had no actual points to disprove what I was saying. And then they even brought up some other guy's video, which is the video we're going to watch right now. And he said that this video pretty much debunks my thoughts, so I heavily doubt that. So we're going to watch this video. I'm going to basically, point by point, explain why this video is flawed because I assume this video has the same points the guy that was talking to me in the comment section had. And if he has those points are terrible points and show that the person has obviously not paid attention to the story. So we're gonna watch the video right now. Also, I'm obviously not gonna play the entire video. I'm just gonna show all of his points and then debunk each of his points step by step. And I'm also going to try not to do the thing where you like say someone's clip out of context to make them sound dumb. I'm not gonna do that. That shit's so lame. I'm gonna actually try to give you context in my debunking of it, give you the context of what he's saying, so then I can say no, this is wrong.
I want to present the arguments for both sides, ultimately coming to my conclusion that Eren is clearly the villain, and not justified in anything he's doing.
Alright, right there. This is his main point of his video. He's explaining why Eren is the villain and why Eren is not justified. I agree with the fact that Eren's villain. Eren is the villain of the story. It's to the outside world, not to everyone on Paradise though, but to the majority of the world, Eren is the villain, and this was supposed to be the story of how the hero became the villain. What I do not agree with, and what we're going to go over, is that Eren's not justified in him doing the rumbling plan, which it is justified, but we'll go over that when we watch the video more.
But I want to walk there slowly so I never have to explain this position again, and I don't want to have to hear any of these terrible arguments ever again. But also, as I tend to do, how these absurdly pro-Eren opinions originated is something I will also look into as we continue through this video. Sit back, this is sure to be a spicy affair. The ultimate argumentative showdown between the Jaegerists and the anti-Jaegerists is here. Now he plans to take everyone's autonomy away and make decisions for them.
Okay, right there, already wrong. So no, Eren did not take away their autonomy. That is faction correct. The story literally goes against this. Eren is free. They are free. Eren is choosing to attack the world because he does not want Paradise to be destroyed. He did not take away their powers. He did not mind wash them. He didn't do anything. If they want to fight Eren and stop Eren, or do whatever the fuck they want to, they can do it because they are free. This was literally stated in the show, by the way. I'm not just saying shit. This is a fact. They are free. They can do what they want to do it because they're free. Eren did not take away their autonomy at all.
There's two sides to this argument in the community, people who support Eren in his attack against the rest of the world, and people who denounce him and advocate for the characters fighting against him. And this is the battle that we are here to oversee today. The two different conclusions drawn from the events I just described. So how do Jaegerists and Eren supporters justify all of this? Well, their main point seems to be that Eren had no other choice, that he tried to fight for every other possibility. He listened to Zeke's plan to buy the island 50 years to catch up technologically and then come to the geopolitical table of the world. He journeyed to Mali with the scouts in hopes of finding an answer, only to find officials in Mali doubling down on their hatred of Paradisians explicitly and lightening up on non-Paradisian Eldians in their propaganda. He actively tried to stop Historia from taking on the burden of an unwanted pregnancy, but now she's pregnant, meaning that he couldn't find a solution outside of Historia being pregnant to buy some time. And most importantly for the Jaegerists, Eren isn't doing this out of hatred for the Malayans. He's only doing it because it's practical. But he's still come to this rumbling conclusion because he views it as the only practical option to save Paradis. But this is nothing new. Just about every villain ever thought that his way was the only way and that they had tried every option, only for our heroes to find another, more moral way in the climax of the story.
Useless point. Him saying because every other villain in other stories that may not be justifiable also think they're justifiable is irrelevant. Because in this story, Eren is justifiable. So you bring up other stories where the villain may have not been justifiable but still thought they were, does not matter. Because as I said, the character we are talking about is justifiable. So I don't care about those other villains, I don't care about those other characters. It doesn't matter to the video.
Also, something that people love to leave out, the morally way that Mikasa and them were able to have world peace only exists because of the rumbling. If the rumbling never happened, they could have never done that morally good way. So I find it really funny how people love to leave out how the rumbling was necessary to have the good ending, but will still just criticize rumbling. Like the good ending you have right now only exists because the rumbling happened.
or at least be used as a tool of disappointment to the audience to demonstrate what not to be like. But this hasn't worked on some sections of the fan base. Most people have the maturity to identify what is being done here and understand the theme being communicated. But these Jaegerists are willing to argue the Eren is in the right point into the ground.
Okay, he is saying that Eren doing the rumbling and killing all those people, it is not supposed to be something you're supposed to do or take away from the story. Isayama is not writing Eren saying, hey, look at the main character or look at the protagonist. Look how he's killing all these people. That is true. Isayama does not want people to go and do that. Because Isayama talked through Hanji and was like, bro, genocide is wrong. But what he is trying to say is that Jaegerists will just go around saying, oh, well, Eren's right because he was... No. The majority of Jaegerists, what they say is that, hey, Eren was justified and he had no other choice. It is still morally bad and it's still fucked up and sad that all those people had to die, but he had no other choice. If he didn't do it, his people would also be genocided. So it is understandable and justified for him to kill all those people in his situation. No one watches the rumbling and says, oh yeah, I'm so happy, yeah, look at there, yeah, you just died. Like, no one's doing that. That's not what's happening. People are watching the rumbling, they're like, damn, this is really fucked up, but there's no other way. So they're like, yeah, so this was a understandable, justified response from Eren. Still a fucked up one, but it was justified for the circumstance.
So let's go through the many counter-arguments there are against the Jaegerist talking points and then look at the motivations behind these Jaegerists and where this subsect of the Attack on Titan community came from.
Alright, it's time for him to list all his counterpoints. For him to list all of his quote-unquote counterpoints that I am going to have to counterpoint myself and debunk them because all his points are just terribly wrong.
So now let's get into the counter-arguments against the Jaegerist points. Firstly, they are right in that Eren is not doing this all out of hatred. He thinks this is the most/only practical solution. I agree there, but who cares? He is still rumbling the entire world outside of Paradis.
This is why I hate this point so much. This specific point right here. I'm going to explain it to you. So, he talks about how Isayama uses Hanji as basically a microphone to talk to the audience, right? Which I agree with. When Hanji's saying, hey, genocide's bad, we shouldn't do that, that is Isayama literally saying that to the audience. So that's the message right there. But just like how Hanji is saying that, you cannot just say genocide is bad, but not give an actual way to stop it. It's useless if you don't have an actual way to stop it. Hanji herself considers herself a failure. Why? Because she never gave Eren an actual way to stop the rumbling from happening. She never gave Eren a valid plan. She even states this herself. She says that she failed because she never was able to give Eren an actual solution other than the rumbling. So, what's ironic about the people that say, oh, I'm not going to listen to your argument why the rumbling's justified, genocide's wrong, you saying that is actually a failed argument. That is a failed argument because you're not giving any ways for the rumbling to not have happened. Now, if you want to say that, hey, the rumbling is bad, that's why you wouldn't do it, that makes sense. But for you to say that it's not justified because it's bad, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because it's the only option.
And the reason that there's so much pushback against this idea in Jaegerist circles is because it's responsible and not very sexy. Hanji is the wise older adult here, standing up and explaining that no matter what, this is wrong, while Eren has the sexier appeal to the audience of fuck it, kill them all, they deserve it.
Okay, so this is another point I heavily disagree with. He's saying that because Eren has a way cooler, more flashy plan compared to Hanji's really lame plan, that's why people more so want to side, or not even plan, more so just point of view, right? So he said that people would rather stay with Eren's plan because it's way cooler, right? And Hanji's is really lame because it's like, oh no, we should be friends and stuff. That's not why. The reason why is because Hanji's point of view is fucking retarded, okay? So Hanji going and saying, yeah, we're gonna go stop Eren because it's wrong, that makes sense. But the problem with that is that after they stop Eren, what else after that? The world genocides you? That's why no one likes to side with Hanji. Because that sounds so stupid, because it is stupid. You're gonna side with the world that wants you dead, and you're basically gonna stop the only hope you have. That's why they don't like the Hanji plan. Because Eren's plan, Paradise is saved, period, point blank. Paradise is saved. By Eren doing the rumbling, Paradise is saved. But by Hanji stopping the rumbling, she thinks that it's like, oh well, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards because I don't want the rumbling to happen. That's dumb. That's why people don't like it. So Hanji is basically doing again. Hanji goes in with her morals, but they fail because she has no actual genuine plan to do anything afterwards. That's why she failed as commander. That's why the majority of Jaegers don't like her plan, because it isn't a plan to begin with. Hanji has never had an actual valid plan.
There is nothing that can justify killing billions of people. The argument should end here. But then the self-preservation argument comes in and the nationalistic arguments come in. Now, I hate nationalism far more than the next guy. I think countries are...
Okay, another point I disagree with. He's saying that people will defend the rumbling because of just a self-preservation / nationalism argument. The problem with that is that us audience members, we do not just inherently think that Paradise people are more valuable than other people, other than the main characters themselves, because of course the main characters will care about more. But like when it comes to like the country versus country, we don't think that Paradise is more valuable as people because they're Paradisians. No, the reason why we care more about the Paradise people is because we see that there are innocent people that are being attacked by the rest of the world. That is where the self-preservation argument does come in, because the entire world has agreed to attack and launch a war against Paradise. So in this war, it is justified and makes sense for us to be able to go back and fight against them too. They are trying to kill all of us, so it is justified for us, if it's our only way to win, to kill them all too. Also, again, from this weird like, oh, nationalism, who talks about that? No, I haven't seen anyone ever be like, oh yeah, nationalism. No. Maybe the main characters, but you know the Jaegers are literally against the main characters, right? So that has nothing to do with nationalism. But with this nationalism thing, it's like, dude, you realize that we're with Paradise because they're being attacked by the entire world trying to slaughter them. And the rumbling is there's no other way. Rumbling is the single only way. So it's like, okay, well, it makes sense for them to have to do that. Let's say that if we got perspective from Marlands, and then we, in season 4, found out about how the Odians are actually good people, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be like, damn, these Odians are innocent and the entire war is going to attack them, so they're going to do their own to protect themselves. People are like, okay, that actually makes sense. That's actually justifiable. But since Eren's the main character, it's like, oh, you're going to attack these people? That's wrong. Like, no, dude. They have no other choice. They literally have no other choice. For you to just say that they should just be obligated and they just have to lay down their lives and die, that makes no sense. Why should an entire group of people just have to let themselves die for other people that wants to attack them? That makes no sense.
But even outside of this argument that Eren is justified because he's just protecting himself, and that Marley was going to attack them anyway, doesn't hold up either. Eren incentivized everyone to invade Paradis with his own actions at Liberia.
Now, this point right here is like the most brain dead one he said. No, it's the second most. We're getting the second one later. This point is the second most brain dead point in the entire video. He says that, oh, the whole argument that Eren's doing because he has to, because the world's going to attack him, does not hold up, because Eren is the one who incentivized them to attack him in the first place. I don't know if you watched the Declaration of War speech or not. I don't know. But you do realize that they literally came there to declare war in the first place. Willie Tiber made the speech, so factually Marley was going to attack them anyway. And then second of all, you can actually tell that the rest of the world was going to actually join Willie Tiber. You want to know how you can tell? Because all the world leaders are there, and they're literally crying and clapping for hearing Willie Tiber's speech. So you can tell, oh, you're obviously with them, and they're obviously agreeing with them, so they're going to go help them. So Eren attacking them meant nothing. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say me and my friends want to jump Steve. I'm hyping my friends up to say, let's go jump Steve. And they're like, yeah, let's go do it. Then before we go attack Steve, he blindsides me and knocks me out in the back of my head, right? Are you going to say that it's Steve's fault for enticing the jumping because he knocked me out? No, because my friends are already going to plan to jump him in the first place, and they already agreed with me. You cannot get mad at someone for defending themselves. Like, if I say, I'm going to shoot you, I reach in the back of my pocket to pull out my gun and you punch me in the face, that is still self-defense. Even if I haven't shot you yet, I was planning to do it, and you can obviously see me planning to do it. That's common sense. The worst part about this is that you literally have the panel of them clapping and crying in your video. So I don't know how you got the idea that Eren is he heavily incentivized, and that's why this happened. Honestly, so basically, if you want to know, audience, the reason why Eren attacked Marley was because 3 reasons. 1, he took out a large portion of their upper military officials, a large portion of the army. Number 2, he took out their entire navy with armament. So not only is that a large part of their army, but they cannot. It made it very hard to launch a immediate counterattack. Reason number 3, Eren wanted to eat the Warhammer Titan because it's one of the Marley's strongest Titans. This Titan was very crucial for Eren to be able to win against Peak, Porco, and Galriot when he fought them in Shiganshina. If he did not have the Warhammer, he would have lost that fight. So all the 3 things Eren did, they weren't just random, oh fuck, I want to start war. No, they were him being like, okay, so you declared war on me? Okay, I'm going to, in a good fashion, take away a majority of your power so my country has a better fighting chance and has more time before you attack us so I can do the rumbling plan. Because you already said you're going to do war. You declared war on me already. Also, I'm sorry, but like, it's literally the declaration of war. Like, the people still using the brain dead argument. I said this in my last video, why rumbling was good. I said in that video, like, I don't understand how you as a grown person with a fully functioning brain can say, yes, Eren is at fault because he attacked the declaration of war speech. Are you hearing yourself talk? Eren attacked the speech where they declared war. They declared war before he attacked. Like, what?
This gets into another counterpoint that Eren in fact didn't try everything, to avoid resorting to a full rumble. Paradis is not being invaded by Marley because the Malayan government hates Eldians. The Malayan government was Eldian. Marley needed the resources of the island of Paradis because they are rich in unmined material.
I don't understand this point at all. He says that the Marleyan government wasn't attacking Paradise because they hate Eldians. Well, the Marleyan government is Eldian. That doesn't matter. They still treat Eldians like trash and have no regard for them. So you saying the Marleyan government is Eldian is actually all that makes no sense. He then goes on to say that, oh, they weren't attacking Paradise because they wanted to hurt them. They just wanted their resources. No. In the literal page you're showing on panel, they say we need to attack Paradise for the resources in the Founder. They want to take away the Founder. That's why they attacked him when Reiner was a kid. That's why they're going to attack him now, because they need the Founder so they can keep winning wars. They also still have no regard at all for Eldian life. And second of all, Willie Tiber literally went to go declare war on Paradise and kill all of them. So you using this argument that, oh, well, they don't hate Eldians. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The majority of the Marleyans do hate the Eldians, and Willie Tiber is still okay with all the Eldians being slaughtered on Paradise and taking the Founder. You saying that the most recent attack was not because of hatred is hilarious, because their first plan of like how to get the Founder, yeah, let's kick down the walls and have all the people get eaten and see how he reacts. What? They don't hate Eldians, they just have no regard for their life. Oh, Willie Tiber in like literally a chapter after they literally said, hey, let's declare war and kill them. So yeah, they totally don't give a shit about them at all. So you like his entire argument right here is useless and make no sense.
Eren made it about hatred and revenge when he killed those people in Liberio. Public opinion can be changed through propaganda. If it was in the world's best interest to have the public come to like Eldians, then the governments of the world would make that happen. This could have happened if they were incentivized by monetary gain of the exported resources of the island of Paradis, but that option was never explored.
Okay, here it is. Here is his worst point in the entire video. So he says that because Eren is the one who made it all about hatred, and public opinion can easily be shifted. Public opinion can be easily shifted, right? So why did Willie Tiber, instead of saying, hey, let's leave the Paradise Eldians alone, and let's just all live in peace, say, let's go attack them? So, already right there, Willie Tiber, he made it about going and attacking them. So Eren had no control over that, because Willie Tiber said, let's go attack them, they all agreed with him. Second of all, he says that if the world had monetary gain, they would actually negotiate and trade with Paradise. But this option was never explored. He is wrong. He says that if Paradise would have actually tried to negotiate trading their minerals and resources, they could actually become okay in the world. This is verbatim said. It is literally verbatim said by Hanji that this would never work. In the railroads, they literally say that yes, the entire world has no intention of ever negotiating with Paradise at all because they see them as devils and they want Paradise to say the root of all evil because it unites them. The world is united because as long as Paradise is the root of all evil, they can go through any conflict and say, okay, we may have had a conflict, but bro, the devils, they're the ones we should be worrying about. So, him, again, his entire point right here is literally false. Also, I don't know if people understand this. The only reason why Hirizu was able to work with Paradise, they were in a special spot. Reason number one, Hirazu was actually on good terms with the like last Eldian king back then. They were actually on really good terms. So the hatred Hirazu people have for Eldians is not as much as other people have across the world. They were on good terms with Eldia. Second of all, Hirazu is extremely poor, and they're known as rats that will do anything for money. So, that is why they're working with Paradise right now. They are literally poor as fuck, and they need money from Paradise's resources. Okay? Also, I don't know if you realize this or not, but do you really? Okay. Let me just make an example. Do you really think, in your mind, that they could have actually gone to the world, being like, "Hey, you want to trade?" and the world would have even thought about that? If you actually think that, you don't. Your level of attention is crazy. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny? People know how much Marley hates Eldians because we saw a 5-year-old girl get eaten by dogs for witnessing an airship. Did you know it was stated by Udo that the rest of the world hates Eldians and treats them worse than Marley? Marley actually needs Eldians for stuff like the warrior program, and Eldians make up a good majority of Marley's army. Did you know that also the other people in the world, they don't do that. They don't use Eldians for anything. So they treat them worse and have even bigger hatred. So Marley, the place where a 5-year-old girl can get eaten by dogs, is not as bad as the rest of the world. Do you think that world would ever want to negotiate with Eldians, especially Paradise Eldians? Especially when you see in the conference that you talked about earlier in the video that they doubled down on not wanting to talk and negotiate with Eldians at all. They want them all dead. Your video contradicts itself because you try to bring in actual things from the story. It's actually crazy. It's like, bro, you don't see. I don't know, man. Let's just continue watching the video.
And this crippling idea that the people of the world won't forgive the Eldians, even if the people in power don't actually hate them, can easily be solved. We are seeing it play out real time in the narrative. Gabby, like we talked about with Jean earlier, exists as a character to demonstrate that irrational hatred for the people of Paradis can be overcome. We saw it happen slowly in how the issue was tackled step by step. Isayama couldn't have been more blatant in his portrayal of cleansing Gabby of her irrational hatred. She was maybe the most extreme in her prejudice, and she was won over. So I think it's easy to make the argument that the others could be as well. And the same thing is demonstrated in the narrative by Magar.
Alright, and then right here, right, he says that, hey, Gabby and McGaff won over. So, what's crazy is that he's saying that because they won over, potentially the rest of the world could also be won over. No. You trying to I don't know if you're thinking right, but Gabby and McGaff's situations are so special they could never be fucking replicated ever. They would never be replicated, okay? They would never be replicated. Gabby is a child, so first of all, she's more impressionable than someone that's an adult, especially older adult. So she's already more impressionable. 2, she is then sent to Paradise with her best friend Falco, who is the only like non-racist, non-warrior Eldian or person outside of Paradise, because he saw Reiner and Eren talking to each other. So he realized that the Paradise people weren't actually bad people from that speech with Reiner, because he saw Reiner break it down saying sorry how he killed him. So she is with someone who isn't racist. She then is adopted by an Eldian family by like a month and is forced to see how these are regular nice people. She then goes to a restaurant. She meets the girl she killed's boyfriend. The boyfriend tries to kill her, and she's like, no, you killed Sasha. Sasha was a really good person. You're the devil. And then she is saved by Sasha's father, who is an Eldian, because he's such a good person. He said, this is a child. We should not kill a child. And then Kaya tries to stab her out of hatred, and she realizes, oh my god, that's kind of like me a little bit. I'm just doing that, just angry, trying to kill Eldians. The way that Kaya tried to kill me because she was mad. So I think you can see how their situation, her being isolated with Eldians for over a month, being forced to see how good they are, would never happen. Especially to an outside country that is surrounded with other people that could be like, no, man, F the Eldians, you're right, man, F the Eldians. No, that would never happen to an outside country. And McGaff, also, very special example. So McGaff, right, he is a commander. Out of all the Marlene commanders, he's the only one that, while he does think Eldians are still devils, he also thinks that he's a devil because of the way he sends them to fight. So McGaff is a little bit more lenient than other commanders because at least he thinks that other humans are also devils too. Then he goes to Paradise. He has to team up with the scouts so they can stop Eren. He is teaming up with Eldians who are trying to stop Eren, even at the cost of their own people, because they're so selfless. They're like, no, this is wrong. We shouldn't let this happen. And even when he's teaming up with them at the campfire, he's still being a racist bigot and bringing up shit from the past they have nothing to do with. Just like outside. So if you think that McGath, who was firsthand working with these Eldians and seeing how kind they are, and also has to work with warrior candidates to see how they're also regular people too, if he was still being racist for a while, why would an entire country outside the walls filled with other people that would be like, nah, F the Eldians, why would they ever change? And what's ironic is that the only reason they were able to change on a mass scale was because of the rumbling. If it wasn't for the rumbling, then they would have never been able to change on a mass scale. So it's hilarious to me how you're so anti-rumbling. Oh, it's wrong, it's bad. But it was the only solution to make everyone have peace in the first place. Because without that, it would have never happened.
Paradis had other options as well. We've already gone over how they could have used selling their resources and their supernatural ice burst to the world as a way to join the world economy, which would have been more beneficial to the world than any war.
And again, he's factually wrong. The story literally disproves his argument. So instead of just going through this entire video doing the same thing I've been doing, you get the point. All his points that I've gone over, wrong. So yeah, the rumbling was justified. It was the only way. Also funny how he says that Paradise had multiple options. The only option he actually names is no, he names two options. First, the option he names is the iceberg one, which factually would have never worked. So I don't know why he says that. Then he goes over the 50 years plan. So the 50 years plan is basically Eldians will get time. They're gonna buy time for 50 years so they can advance their weaponry to be up to date with other people outside the worlds, so they can then be able to have an army suitable enough to fight them. Now, this is a dumb plan, and post time skip, no one even talks about it because I'm pretty sure they realize how dumb it was. So I need you to understand this, right? You think that Paradise will be able to get a army strong enough to defend themselves against the rest of the world, right? You know that. Here's a fun fact for you. Paradise's entire population of people, is as big as Marley's army. Not counting all the other people that live in Marley, just the population of people in Paradise is as big as Marley's army. Now, I'll give you like a gigantic highball. Let's say like 10% of Paradise people are actually in the army, which definitely not 10%. But let's give them a highball. Let's say 10% of the population of Paradise is actually in the army. You think Paradise is gonna win this like 10-1 fight against Marley when Marley has, I don't know, more advanced weaponry by far? Paradise was already 100 years behind to begin with. So like, they're already struggling. They're already struggling, dude. And also, again, the entire world wanted to attack Paradise because of Willie's speech of the Declaration of War. It is Willie's fault because even before Eren attacked, as you can see, they are all already agreeing and going to go attack Paradise with Willie. So, factually, they would have no chance at all at winning a war like that. They had no chance at all. So, you saying they had multiple options and then bringing up two terrible options that would have never worked is hilarious. So yeah, you get the gist of this debunk video. You've seen my points. I'm not gonna go through his entire video and just fucking shit on and just like debunk everything. I'm not gonna do that because that's a waste of time. So I'm gonna end the video here.